I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. Greetings, everybody. Happy Thursday morning. Hope you're all having a lovely Wednesday night. Actually, let me phrase. Hopefully, you're having a better Wednesday night than I am, because my bets are currently 1-4 on the night. I've got 2 more remaining. They're both in play on the screens in front of me, so we'll see how they play out. I mean, and one of them would turn things around. That's for sure. One of them's plus 660. So that'll.
They look good too. They look good.
It's early.
But I mean, 6 of those points in that last. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna let it go. You already know. All
right. They look strong.
Michigan's the one that we're gonna lose. I knew when I woke up this morning and it was still 12.5. It was dead. So whatever.
We'll see. So hope you're all having a lovely Wednesday night. This will be a quick one. It's not the most loaded college basketball, and then I'll go through NBA at the end. But there's only 2. I only have 2 bets at the moment, and honestly, the last. Just estimating, I'd say like 3 of my last 5 NBA bets have just been terrible. Like the Sixers, I thought for sure that would close -2.5, -3. Went the other way. So all right.
Are you talking about line movement or what you saw? Like, because I don't feel like the Heat was a bad bet, or do you consider that a bad bet?
What, the Suns?
No, the Heat yesterday when they lost. The Suns playing.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I consider it a bad bet. The Suns definitely did not look as crisp, and they played so many games at home, and I guess I just should have considered that. I don't know. It's a combination of both. But all right, NJIT UMass Lowell. Spoon, I believe this was yours, right?
Obviously, this is a spoon game. I know Toast is not circling any UMass Lowell games to bet this year, but I am.
I do love me some NJIT. I didn't have this one circled. You are correct, but I do have a little bit of respect for NJIT.
So they might be a little bit of a dark horse in this conference, but I think UMass Lowell is the second best team, and by far. They recently got back Sean Simmons. He's playing back in his 3rd game, I believe. Limited minutes in the first couple, but he's fully healthy, and UMass Lowell looks like a much better team with him on the floor. In conference play, I expect them to take care of business at home just about every time. This line opened up offshores at an 8. The regular numbers I saw at legal books were 7.5. It immediately got bet down to 6.5, then 5.5, and then 4.5. At 4.5 -110, I bet it. I kind of had this game around 6 points or so, and I really wanted to get at UMass Lowell. If it was a 6.5 and I didn't have to do a lot of juice, I would bet it. And just watching that line movement come down, I expect it to bounce back up. I'm assuming the line movement has something to do with one of NJIT's missing starters from the last couple of games, either Jeremy Clayville or Arrington. No matter what player it is, I don't think they're worth 4 points in this game, and I think UMass Lowell gets a comfy win at home.
Any thoughts?
Yeah, so this one I would take the points with NJIT or pass. And the only reason is this. It's just some of these line moves have just been really weird. Whether it be today we had Boston. I had Boston University money line last night at +102, closed at like -200, 230 on FanDuel and stuff. And my point to that is that, yeah, it sounds cool that I got all that CLV, but like anybody, I didn't think for one chance that it was going to move like that. So I think there's a lot of like information that's going on that people either think is good or bad, and then they move on it. But I mean, KenPom has this game 9. It's at 4.5 right now. I mean, everything tells you to bet UMass Lowell. They've played a much harder schedule. They're just a better team in general. And yeah, you can get them at 4.5. It just doesn't make sense to me. So it would be NJIT or pass for me.
Someone says everyone muted. No, it's good. You guys can hear us, right? Is that just? I might just see someone has their TV muted and doesn't realize. On my end, it says the audio is fine. So yeah, we're good. All right, another spoon. We're starting off with back-to-back Spooner games. Queens against Florida Gulf Coast. You know, I got to say, I don't know a ton about this conference, obviously, but I did have a ton of fun watching this conference tournament last year. I remember specifically watching this conference tournament. It was a lot of fun.
So Queens comes into this game playing really good basketball, undefeated in conference, winning 2 home games, 2 road games. They're playing their 3rd straight road game, and this will be their toughest test in Florida Gulf Coast. Since Queens has come into conference, they've never won down here in this gym. Pretty tough coach to go against. Pat Chambers, longtime coach for Penn State, Boston University. He's got a Notre Dame player, Kaninsky, I believe is his last name. He's the best player on this team. I'm not really in love with Florida Gulf Coast. It's a pretty good buy low for them, but looking into this Queens team and just how they play, I really think this is a spot where they finally get over the hump and get a win in this gym. Queens is merging with the University of Elon, and currently right now the plan is to have both athletic programs stay active, but that's still up for debate, and NCAA has to rule on that. So there's a decent chance one of the athletic programs ends up ceasing to exist. And Queens just made it to Division I. Every single year under Grant Leonard, he's done better and better in conference. And if there's a chance that they have to go out like this, I expect them to play really well all year, starting 4-0 in conference. I think that's a good side of it. I think they finally get their first win. I took the plus money line at plus 105.
Oh, you're on Florida Gulf Coast.
No. Queens.
Oh, I have Queens as favorites.
I got Queens plus 105.
Oh. I might that might have been a typo on my part. This is one I manually added because it wasn't on our list.
Yeah, I got my pick pulled up.
Yeah, this line is
Queens is laying 3.5 now.
Yeah, it's ballooned.
So wow, you got a Queens money line at plus 105.
Yep,
that's a hell of a bet. It is. They're now 3.5 point favorites.
You can get 2.5 on FanDuel minus 105. I think that's still there. Regardless. It would only be Queens for me as well. I didn't know that thing about the merging thing. That's crazy, especially because Queens is like starting to actually have a good basketball program. Regardless, anyway. But yeah, they've played a much better schedule. I think they're clearly the better basketball team. Not to mention the fact when you see these games with like Ken Pom having Florida Gulf Coast as the favorite and Queens being a 3-point favorite, such a line move, like not a line move, but such a difference in a line, kind of tells you that the books don't want to get caught with their pants down. So it would only be Queens for me as well. I didn't bet it.
The proposed plan has both athletic programs keeping completely everything separate for like an interim amount of time, but it kind of sounds like they'll have to like pick and choose which school gets like the football and which school gets like the basketball.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Someone said, watch your show every morning. You're like the Marty Music of sports. I'm not sure what that is, but it sounds like he's giving us a compliment. So, I just Googled it. It's a YouTube channel. I don't know what it is, but I think he was giving us a compliment. So, Oakland, Milwaukee. Let's talk Horizon. The last time
Where's Trev at?
I don't know. Did he text the group chat saying he wasn't going to
make
it?
Yeah, he did. He can't do it because somebody on his show is off.
He did say that. He said that last night. Yep. Okay. So Oakland, Milwaukee. Usually Trevor's the one taking the lead on the Horizon games. I remember the last time we talked about Milwaukee, there were pissed off comments because all you guys liked Milwaukee and then they got smoked.
Oh yeah, I didn't bet it.
Still have that sometimes. It was a good buy low spot.
Oh yeah, no, it's just that's the first thing that comes to mind when I look at Milwaukee.
Oh, it was the IU Indy game.
Was it? I thought they were playing. I thought it was Green Bay, to be honest.
I think it's just they didn't cover versus Green. I think it was the Green Bay game.
Yeah, and they were getting, and you know what it was? They were getting killed, and they ended up coming all the way back, and it was close at the end. But they were down like 18 at the end of the first half or something. But all right, Oakland, Milwaukee. Who would Let's see who clicked this game.
Me. I think if you guys know me, you already know what the bet is. Golden Grizzlies up under a possession. Are you kidding me?
You love this team.
I do. I love this team. I've done really well with this team. I didn't play them against. I play them against Wright State. I think they were a short favorite in that game as well. I think 3.5. Between 3.5 and 5.5, but regardless, that game was at home. Didn't play well. And Wright State's actually a really good team. I think that they're probably actually a little bit better than Oakland, but it's just one of those situations where I feel like Oakland's going to be continued to be undervalued. They've played one of the strongest schedules in the country, number 2 in the non-con. I mean, Michigan, Purdue, Houston, UCF, Eastern Michigan, Michigan State. They've played Wright State twice. That does help because they're 134. But when they've stepped down in competition like they're going to be with Milwaukee, whether it be at home or on the road, they beat a Montana team on the road that's significantly better than Milwaukee. They beat them by multiple possessions on the road. They beat a Northern Kentucky on the team, or another team that's much better than Milwaukee on the road by multiple possessions as well. I mean, Youngstown is a little bit better than Milwaukee. I don't know. It depends on how you like, but they beat them on the road as well. My point being is that not only has Oakland went on the road and won, they've also been tested in really, really big environments, like I mentioned, like Purdue, Houston, and stuff like that. So I'd like to play Oakland especially when you're getting them under a possession, when you're playing teams that aren't nearly as good as them, especially in these mid 200s, in the 300s as well. So Oakland, for me, it's one of my only bets tomorrow.
Spoon, agree, disagree?
Yeah, I get the Oakland -1.5, -110. I spent a little bit of time doing some research on Milwaukee tonight. I watched a couple of their past games. In the last game, Danilo Janovic, one of their best players, did not play. He left the game in the Northern Kentucky game in the first half, and this is a guy that's playing north of 30 minutes, 35 minutes in a lot of games. He's played 40 minutes once this season. In that Northern Kentucky game, he had a wrap around his shoulder already, and he got fouled on a free throw rebound, and he went to go up with both of his arms and got fouled really hard, and his one arm just like went limp and it went down. There's not been anything official from the team, but he didn't make any attempt to come back in that game. Peaked at the IU Indy game. He sat on the bench, not dressed. I don't think he's going to be available. He's one of the most impactful players on that Milwaukee lineup. They're already dealing with some huge injuries. Their leading scorer early in the season, Seth Hubbard, 1,000-point NCAA Division I scorer, is out for the season. And one of his replacements, Fazion Fields, is also dealing with injury. He's got an ankle going on. He's day-to-day at this point, so it could be his first game back. But I think this is just too much for Milwaukee to deal with. Oakland's coming off a loss. Very good team in their own right. They have two of the best players in the conference in Isaac Garrett and Brody Robinson. I think this is a great spot for Oakland. I like that 1.5. I like the 2. I think this closes closer to 4.
Yeah, it's already on the move.
Wow, there's 3.5s already.
Yeah,
so if I can get a 2.
2 on Caesars right now, you're in.
I'll dabble. I'll gamble with you fellas.
Okay.
I'll play the Golden Grizzlies.
I like it. Nevada, I need you to fight. I need you to stay in this game, Nevada. Just keep the fight on.
What's that? How close is that one?
They're only down by 7 to a team that wins by 30 every game. Trevor told me. Every game. Blowouts.
He did
Blowout.
say that.
This ain't the Dakotas, boys. This ain't the Dakotas.
Oh, man. So I wish we could ask Trevor about the Dakotas. That's the Dakotas.
Jordan tailed him and he texted me and he's like, this motherfucker needs to find Jesus or something.
It's the Dakotas. Trevor, what does that mean? What do you mean by it's the Dakotas?
Jordan said, I want answers for the Dakotas, man.
All right. I want answers. I just bet this. I know nothing about the Golden Grizzlies. I'm telling these fellas.
And shout out TCU, 6-point lead at half. Let's go, boys.
Wow.
Youngstown State, right? I feel like we talked about Youngstown State so much last year, and I feel like we've barely talked about them this year.
Yeah, they were a fun team last year, especially especially late November on. They were a really, really, really good team. Not so much this year.
Well,
I mean,
they're catching.
They're kind of the same.
They're catching 6 from Wright State.
Yeah, it would only be Wright State here for me. I'm not going to bet it because, and I would assume that Spoon's going to say this, you're kind of not getting any discounts with Wright State. I mean, they've been absolutely on fire for the last month and a half or so. I think they're on a 6 or a 7 game win streak. We just talked about them beating the Oakland team that we just bet. So now getting to come home after 3 straight road games where they were really, really impressive. The Detroit game almost got away from them a little bit, but I do think it's a lot of points here. I do think that Youngstown State is able to get up for this game a little bit, being on the road and losing the last 4 games. They got one against a non-ranked team or a non-Division I team, but I just wish that I was getting like Wright State at like 4.5 or 5, not so much 6. So I just feel like you're not getting any discount with Wright State. It would only be Wright State for me though.
Spoon, agree, disagree? Because Mr. Weskers is in the comments saying he likes the Penguins.
I don't hate it.
Oh, so you're
So
saying
I
Wright
took,
State or pass?
I'm not doing it. I couldn't argue with somebody. I was trying to give Wesker some shout out.
I took Wright State -6.5, -102. I really like that it's close to even money. That is a big help for this bet. But Youngstown State already beat Wright State earlier this season in their conference opener at home. I think this is a payback game for Wright State. I think Wright State is clearly the better team at this point this season. I watched Youngstown State up in that Toledo gym, have vivid memory of Ethan Faulkner just putting his hand up to his head and just shaking the entire second half. He was so frustrated. And it makes a lot of sense looking at some of these conference games why he was that frustrated. This team doesn't have a ton of injuries they're facing or anything like that. It's just not a very good roster. Youngstown State was fun to bet last year, but they're not as good. I think Wright State gets payback here at home. All the shots fall. This is a game that finishes close to 10 points, 12 points in my opinion.
I like betting Youngstown State in the ice box, or what's it called? What's it called?
Yeah, I can't remember what he calls it, but it's something like
the
that.
Ice Palace or something. What is he?
And there's three key things that are different from the teams last year. This year they turn it over a lot. They don't get to the free throw line, and they can't hit their and the 3-point shot isn't that. Or the free throws aren't really great either. So you take those things away, they're not going to be that great of a basketball team.
Wow, the highlights for Georgia Ole Miss are playing. I didn't realize this game was that crazy. I didn't watch 1 minute of this.
Yeah, outright winner at 10.5-point dogs, baby. Let's go.
Wow, it just went to overtime. I'm watching the highlights. It just went to overtime.
Nevada covers. Let's go, boys. Shout out Wolfpack.
Damn, Toast, you're having
Oregon
a good
State.
Dude, I can't miss right now. I literally, feels good.
Yeah, I saw you hit Western Carolina money line, and then you hit another money line dog.
Texas money line.
Yeah, damn. At least somebody's winning. I'm not. Spoon, do you have a good day?
I'm dead even. I had so many bets today. I need Michigan to cover to have anything.
North Carolina screwed me because I had a full unit on them, and they pissed down their leg. So.
They lost to Stanford.
I didn't mean to have 11 bets coming into today. By the time we finished off the show, I fired off like 3 bets while we were talking. And I was putting all my card together and looking at everything, and I was like, how do I have 11 bets right now?
Happens to the best of us.
The one that hurts is Boston, where I had them, like I said, plus 104.
They came all the way back too.
Yeah, it scored 91 points, and I still lost.
So they had a 3-point lead.
Yeah.
The other team's inbounding the ball. Foul up 3. Like, why are we not doing this? Like, there's an entire article on CBB Analytics on why you do it.
As soon as that happened, I was waiting for the John Rothstein tweet to come. Always foul up 3.
I don't know if we talked about a Sun Belt basketball game all year, but we're in the Sun Belt. Arkansas State, South Alabama.
Boone, you can go first. I have a love affair for South Alabama, so sometimes I feel like I can't cap their games correctly. I just love watching them. I think that zone kind of gives people fits, but I'm curious to hear your take on this one because I kind of want to take the points here. I feel like this is short for a reason.
Yeah, another one of these teams that I saw in person up there in Toledo. South Alabama runs a very interesting zone. It's not like your regular 2-3. It's a very aggressive zone. They try to turn you over. And it gives a lot of team fits. One thing that I think Arkansas State has at their advantage is the ability to play fast. In that Toledo game, Toledo got ran out of the building early on, and that zone they just had no answer for until they started to push the pace. And Ryan Pannone, former Alabama assistant coach, runs a tempo right now 12th in the country, very fast. And if there's one way to keep a zone from really hurting you, is just don't let it set up. And that's one thing Arkansas State's going to try to do. They're going to try to keep the tempo. I think South Alabama also lost one of the key pieces to their zone in Peyton Law, senior guard. And I just really think this team overall just relies so much on Chase Harris. And he's an athletic guard that can get to the basket, not much of a shooter. And I just think Arkansas State has the athletic guards to stay with him on the man-to-man side of this. I took Arkansas State -3 here. South Alabama's zone, a little bit of a gimmick. I think Ryan Pannone's a really good coach, and I think he'll show that here in the next couple seasons. And I think this is a nice spot to get them. South Alabama at home, catching 3 points. I think this number is short.
Toast, any thoughts?
Yeah. Want to watch what this number does. Really intrigued with taking South Alabama here. I just feel like I don't want to take anything away from Arkansas State. They've been really, really good, but I do feel like this is like this is like a really big get up spot for South Alabama. This is, I would assume, I guess Troy later on in the year, but this is like one of their biggest games left on their schedule. This and the Troy game are the two biggest games left on their schedule, especially at home. So I expect them to get up for this game. And if they can slow this game down, it's not like Arkansas State's really good from behind the arc or anything like that. And they have a turnover issue as well. So, and that's one thing that South Alabama does is they don't rely on the three. They don't turn the ball over and they can get buckets inside. So I feel like they can keep this game close. Ken Pom has this game too. I just feel like this is like a get up spot for South Alabama. So I have it circled. I would like to get 4, but it's a South Alabama spot for me. I haven't bet it yet though.
All right, let's move on to the next one, which is UT Arlington against Utah Tech. What a selection here on this one. We're deep in the weeds. Utah Arlington.
At least UT Arlington's like top 140. At least they're not terrible.
Yeah, well, who wants to talk about this?
Did you click this game, Spoon, or no?
I definitely clicked this game. I know it's a pretty ugly game on paper. I took UT Arlington money line plus 115. They're the much better team on paper, so it makes me scratch my head at first why this number is the way it is. And Utah Tech has had UT Arlington's number here. They beat them last year at home. They only finished the season with 2 conference wins, and one of them was at home versus UT Arlington. The season before that, played UT Arlington pretty tough. I just think this is a spot where UT Arlington has the much better roster. There's too much built into the home court advantage here. And sitting here at 3-1 in conference, that Tarleton State loss also should have been a win. I think this team has their eyes on the top of this conference. I think UT Valley is one of the best teams here. Outside of that, I think it's pretty wide open. So UT Arlington has a chance right now in the middle of conference play to kind of prove themselves. Utah Tech is a bad school. They should win by more than 5 points. This number is very short. It's stinky. I'm going to dive right on in.
Any thoughts in this one, Toast?
I feel like I'm TV Jones right now. I really want to take a shot with Utah Tech here. I get that UT Arlington is the better team. I'm definitely not going to argue that. But what I would say is that I'm not like super impressed with what they've done away from home, for one. And I will give you that they've played better competition like Arkansas State and Stanford and New Mexico. But the Southern Utah win and Oral Roberts and UT Rio Grande Valley, all those teams that are, I guess just as good. If maybe Utah Tech's a little bit better, depending on who you want to talk about. I think Utah Tech's a little bit better. The UTRGV game was in overtime. I just feel like it's a lot asking. Well, I guess they're not laying anymore. I assume that UT Arlington would be laying numbers, but I think Utah Tech's the favorite for a reason. They've also played. Utah Tech has played a very, very good schedule. So the little bit, it's not even a step up in class from what they've been playing the last couple of weeks, but from what they're normally playing, you can't even say that. Cal Baptist and Utah Valley are the two previous teams. They're both, Utah Valley's clearly better than UT Arlington, give or take on Cal Baptist, but they've also played Creighton, Santa Clara. They played Clayton and Santa Clara, both on the road. In this month of December, they played Arizona State as well. So this team has been tested as well. So I think they're the favorite for a reason. I was hoping to get them as a short dog at like plus money, but it would only be Utah Tech for me. I would need plus money to actually bet it, but that's.
Yeah, I'm not tailing any of that.
Shame.
Green Bay, Cleveland State, back to the horizon.
You laying it with Green Bay?
Yo,
on the road.
Green Bay looks really good right now.
They do.
And he canceled his podcast, right, or his radio spot.
Yes, and
it's serious business.
Cleveland State is a team that you could, at least for the past 4 or 5 years or so, you could pencil them in as a 20-win team, right, Spoon? I mean, that's not a crazy statement, is it?
Yeah, but that was with a different coach that's
No,
now,
I'm just,
now down at
I
North
know,
Texas.
but I'm just saying that, like, when you see people like me and stuff, when you see Cleveland State, you assume that that's like a nice little storied program, especially for the Horizon League. It's 5-13 is pretty surprising from what we've seen. I get it's a new coach, but it's still, to me, it's surprising to see this team this bad. I think Green Bay's playing really good basketball, and I know that they're a easy punchline with Gottlieb and stuff like that, but they play their own style. They like to slow the game down and play through their defense. Their offense is all right, but I just, it would only be Green Bay for me. I mean, Cleveland State is not a good basketball team, and they're going to try to get up and down the floor. And if Green Bay is able to prevent them from doing that, like what they should be able to, I don't see Cleveland State being in this game. I mean, it's not like they're in most of these games. They had a Purdue-Fort Wayne game that was a 3-point game, but besides that, if you look at all their losses, it's usually, for the most part, multiple possessions. So they've given me no reason to believe that even as a short dog at home, we should be looking their way. It would only be Green Bay for me.
Spoon, what do you think?
I like the side he's on. I looked at it. There's still one -2.5, -110 left.
I didn't bet it, just for the record.
That was the number that I was looking at. That number is available currently on Caesars. I just couldn't quite pull the trigger. I feel like I'm kind of buying high on Green Bay right now after 4 straight wins, but I have absolutely no faith in this Cleveland State team. I think you could go as far to say is they look so bad in certain situations that it looks like they're fixing games. So if Gottlieb can cover on the road against anybody, it's probably Cleveland State. But I gotta lay 2.5 points, so like a full possession. I went back and forth with this as well. I like the Green Bay side of this. That they're hitting shots at a really high rate in conference. They started out versus Robert Morris and Wright State, 2 of the tougher teams in the conference. Since then, they've looked really good. I'm bought in on Green Bay. I'm just not ready to lay this 2.5 number yet. If it comes down at all, I'd be interested, but I think it's going to go the other way. It looks like it's starting to move to 3s, 3.5s. So,
all right. Next up,
and for those asking in the comments, grape slushy is the vape flavor.
Wow, this is a game that hits close to home for Toast.
I know. My dad is literally 5 feet from me right now, and he's going to be going to the game tomorrow. We're both flying out tonight.
You're not in Alaska right now? You're in Spokane or what?
I'm in Alaska. He came up for work to say hi.
Your dad's up by you.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Well, for those of you that don't know, Toast grew up by Spokane, against a Gonzaga fan, but his parents have season tickets to Washington State football in Pullman. So this is you're torn between 2 programs here.
I am torn. I'm just going to continue to say it. I'm not laying numbers with the Zags. You can put up Washington State for me. If it gets to the 20s, into the 20, like I need 20, I'll take it. Excuse me. But I don't think that Gonzaga has shown anything to be laying these types of numbers and at least being comfortable. I'm not saying that they haven't won by margin or anything like that, but they've also been kind of caught playing with their food at times, especially on the road. And my issue with Gonzaga is a couple things. One, they don't get to the free throw line at all. And if you can center all of your attention around EK and Huff, I think that gives teams an advantage because Gonzaga can't shoot the 3, and they don't have anybody slashing to the rim to get to the bucket, getting buckets or anything like that. And Washington State kind of matches up with these guys. I mean, Okafor 6'10", Alayo 6'8", Vavers is 6'7". I mean, their guards are 6'3" and 6'4", but they've got multiple big guys on the bench as well. I mean, they're one of the bigger teams in the country. So I'm not saying that EK and Huff aren't going to get theirs like they always seem to do. But at the same time, I do feel like Washington State can match up with these guys. So it would only be Washington State for me. I worry about the Washington State offense because the one thing that's a little bit different with Gonzaga this year is that they're kind of carried by their defense, and no one really talks about that. Their offense, I think, is actually like average, but their defense, I think, is very, very good. And I'm not in love with the Washington State offense. They have a turnover problem. They really can't shoot it from 3. So I could see this game getting out of hand if they're really bad offensively. But again, I don't feel like Gonzaga has shown the ability to at least feel comfortable when you're laying this big number. So you can put Washington State up to me. If it gets to 20, I will pull the trigger.
Spoon?
I agree with that. I like the Washington State side of this. They shoot really good shots, so like they're either jacking threes or getting easy twos right at the rim. So I trust their ability to score. I know the Zags are going to win this game. I don't think this is going to be some double-digit upset or anything like that, but I think that back door will be open. But I think Gonzaga is one of those teams that takes money, so I don't feel the need to bet this right now. I might bet it tomorrow, though.
All right. How far is Spokane from Pullman?
Like an hour and a half.
Close by. Regional battle here. Last game before we before I start talking NBA. San Diego. Spoon. We know it's Spoon.
I clicked this. I don't know if Seattle did too, or Spoon did too, but
I didn't click the Seattle game for once.
I clicked it because I wanted to make sure that we talked about it. So I can go first if you want, or you can, but
it's a big number. So Seattle, if you look at what they've done recently, they just went on the road, did the toughest road trip they could possibly do. They just took a step up in competition overall. Last season, they were in the WAC. They moved over to the WCC, and they just had to go on the road, play Gonzaga, St. Mary's, and Oregon State. The worst road trip you could possibly have in this conference. Now they get to go home and face one of the worst teams in San Diego. Seems like a nice get-right spot. And we look at what have they done at home recently, and they just played Washington State. They won that game by 14 points. So if you can beat a team like Washington State by 14, it seems like you should be able to beat San Diego by more than 14 or at least 10 points. But I think the crowd was more into it for that game. That was one of those games played on that other gym, not their actual true home gym. And I think the crowd really got into it. I'm not ready to lay this number with Seattle. I'm definitely not going to fade them or anything like that. But this number comes down to 7.5. I could lay it with Seattle, but I think at double digits, that's one of those numbers as a coach. You're sitting there at the end of the game and it's a 13-point game and you know you lost the game, but you're sitting there with the guys and let's at least get this to 10. We're going to walk to the locker room and we'll get ready for the next game. And I don't want to be on the opposite side of that kind of motivation. I'd rather be laying a better number. I don't think there's an edge here.
Oh, I vehemently disagree. Seattle minus 15. I don't care what the number is. They're going to absolutely destroy San Diego tomorrow. You mentioned the gym. Yeah, they're finally back in the baby gym in the Red Hawks Center. It's going to be packed. There's going to be 1,500 people just going crazy in that place with the blow-up doll in the corner, and everybody's going to love it. I mean, this is a major step down in competition for the Seattle team that Spoon kind of mentioned it. Stepping up in competition in this conference this year has kind of been ran through the gauntlet to start in their first 5 games. At home versus San Francisco, essentially a top 100 team in KenPom. At home versus Washington State, 147. They got that win, and then losing on the road to Gonzaga in overtime. Then 2 days later, they got to fly down to St. Mary's. They played them. They could end up getting blown out. And then they got to 4 days after that, they got to fly up to Corvallis. That's never a spot. Nobody succeeds on Thursday nights in Corvallis. We've told you that for years now, guys. It's just not a spot that we expected them to play well in. And now they come back home to the small gym. I think in San Diego, if you look at them on the road this year, absolutely terrible. 7-point loss to Pacific. Double-digit loss to Santa Clara. Double-digit loss to San Francisco. Double-digit loss to Washington. Double-digit loss to San Jose State. 4-point loss to Long Beach State. Long Beach State is 150 spots worse in KenPom than Seattle is. Seattle in a effing blowout tomorrow.
Wow. In an effing...
I feel like I should be on this, but I just have so much trepidation. Speaking of trepidation, Vermont plays tomorrow, and I don't have them on the card either. They are currently at minus 14.5. The first number I saw was minus 13.5. I expect to see a 15.5 by the time I wake up, maybe a 16.5. I'm going to bet Maine tomorrow. Vermont, former assistant coach Chris Markwood is the head coach for Maine right now. Since they played the last few seasons, Maine's had not great teams at all, but the games between Vermont and Maine have not become blowouts. It really feels like Becker takes the foot off the pedal there in the second half. Kind of different approaches, and Maine's just been a really bad team all season. The only part I don't really like about this is Vermont kind of just played with their food in their last home game, so there might be a little bit of a get-right spot, but I just don't see them trying to blow Maine out. And just like I was talking about with let's get it under 10 points, I think once this goes past 15, it's just too much. You're putting extra effort into to blow out somebody that you have a lot of respect for, and I don't think that's what's going to happen tomorrow. So I'm going to be on Maine tomorrow, but I'm going to wait for the better number. Vermont will take money.
Maine plus 14. All right.
I don't care how good of a day I had. Feel free to roast me in the comments for taking Michigan, guys. That's just we've said not to bet them on the road this whole year.
We all took Michigan.
I know. I just feel so stupid.
I mean, we could still cover this.
I know. I'm just saying. It just bothers me. That's all.
Yeah, well, that's a foul.
Is it over?
No,
it's not. They're just playing with their food. They're just playing with their food.
They're up 7 with 6 minutes to go. Oh, that's a 3. No, he didn't take it. All right, let's talk about the NBA.
Love you guys. Remember, I'm not here tomorrow, but I'll see you guys on Friday.
Okay, so
have a good one.
All right, later.
I'll text you, Kyle.
Yep. All right, let's talk some NBA. Go through it quickly, because I am not getting on good numbers in the NBA right now. I was like a week ago too. I'm actually up on betting the NBA this season, but the last like 4 days, every single number I take seems to be the wrong one. All right, comes and goes. All right, Memphis, Orlando. This game's in Berlin, by the way, for those of you that didn't know this. 2:10 p.m. Eastern tip time. So this is an afternoon NBA game in Berlin. Probably kind of a home environment for the Magic. If you didn't know, Franz Wagner, not only is he back from injury, but he's from Berlin. He's not from Germany. He's from actually Berlin. This is his home city. And his brother, Mo Wagner, is also back from injury, and obviously they're brothers. He's also from Berlin. On top of that, De Silva, another guy in the Magic, he's from Munich, Germany. So the Orlando Magic have 3 Germans on their team. So yeah, this is a game in Germany, but you got to imagine that the crowd is going to be very, very pro Orlando Magic here with 3 German players on the team. So kind of a home environment for the Magic. Obviously that works in their favor. Like I said, Franz Wagner is back, and you know what? Let's start with the Franz Wagner splits because they're pretty substantial here. Orlando was playing great earlier in the season, and then Franz Wagner got hurt, and these are some serious splits. Look at this. So with Franz Wagner on the floor, the offense is considerably better. The defense is considerably better. The win-loss, they're 14-10 with him. Without him, they're 8-8, 5-11 against the spread without Franz Wagner. So betting on the Orlando Magic without Wagner on the floor has been a suicide mission. Franz Wagner is back. Now, is he on a minutes limit? Who knows? With a game like this in Germany, I wouldn't be surprised if he was cleared to come back like a game or two ago and they wanted his return to be, you never know. So yeah, Franz Wagner back. Still no Suggs though for the Magic. So how much do we factor that in? Franz Wagner back. That's huge moving forward, but does that mean so much in this very one game? That being said, I don't really know what to think of Memphis right now. They've played a strong schedule recently, but this offense just isn't working. Ja Morant got hurt again in their last 5 games without Ja Morant. They've got an offensive rating just over 109. That is not good. Remember, an average offensive rating is about 114.7. So they're significantly below average offensively in their last 5 games. Just 2-3 straight up, 2-3 against the spread. They did beat the Nets the other night. They actually rallied in the fourth to beat the Nets the other night, but they were 1-6 in their previous 7 before that win. So Memphis does not look great. Specifically on the offensive side of the ball, they don't look good. Now, their recent games, the Spurs, elite defense. The Suns are even an elite defensive team. Oklahoma City, elite defense. Nets even have a pretty damn good defense. So maybe we chalk some of this up to playing some strong defenses, but just like the Franz Wagner splits, look at the Morant splits. Actually, you know what? When you look at the Morant splits, the only thing that dramatically changes is the pace. With Ja Morant, they've run a much faster pace than without him. As far as win-loss, though, they're 6-12 with Morant, 11-10 without him. But if you look at the offensive efficiency, defensive efficiency, they've played similarly. But yeah, the results have been better without Ja Morant. Obviously, there's trade rumors. I saw something on Twitter. Ja Morant just bought a house in Miami. No clue if there's any truth to that. So this is they played back-to-back games. They play this one in Berlin, and then they play again. The next one's in London. So back-to-back European games. If you're one of those people that follows the pattern, Orlando hasn't lost back-to-back games. They've done the win-loss exact pattern since mid-December. Loss, win, and they've alternated. Don't ever bet like that, but some people find it interesting. I guess Magic. I don't know. I didn't bet this game. I guess I would go Orlando because it's kind of a home game for them, but that seems to be factored into the price, laying 4.5. So I'll put Orlando up, but I don't have a ton of interest in this. All right, next game is Suns-Pistons. Man, Suns fell short for me last night. Honestly, can't even be mad at them because they rallied and they put themselves in a position to win the game. Shout out to Bam Adebayo. He hit 3 threes in a row to win that game. Really clutch shooting from Bam Adebayo. Honestly, the Heat played really well down the stretch to win. The way I saw that game, obviously I watched the entire game, Suns-Heat, and I was on Suns +1 and it lost. My takeaway from that game was Miami went and got that shit rather than the Suns lost that game. The Suns played pretty well. Devin Booker even got banged up in the game. He came back and finished it. What was that last graphic I have? Oh, so yeah. Here's the Suns schedule. So let's start right here. Now, I think the first question we need to answer is Devin Booker going to play in this game? He's listed as questionable, and if you watch the Heat game, you know what I'm talking about. So I forget exactly when it was. I think it was late in the third quarter. Yes, it was late in the third quarter. Devin Booker, someone rolled up on his ankle or something. He went straight to the locker room, got hurt, kind of limped into the locker room. Now, he came back in the fourth quarter and finished the game. He's listed as questionable. The reason I have this graphic up, look at the schedule for the Suns. This is a long East Coast road trip where they're traveling up and down the coast, Miami, up to New York, back down to Atlanta. So they're all over the East Coast here. They're going to be on the East Coast for damn near 2 weeks. I wouldn't be surprised, even if Devin Booker's not seriously injured, if they rested him here in the middle, in 2 games into this long East Coast road trip. The splits with and without Devin Booker are pretty considerable. Now, we've only seen 3 games without him, so this isn't enough of a sample size to really care about. But you can see without Devin Booker, the numbers are terrible here. They're 1-2 against the spread. But again, it's only 3 games, so who cares? The problem is they're on the road against a Detroit Pistons team that's in the exact opposite situation. And what I mean by that is this is the best condition that Detroit's been in since before the new year. Cade Cunningham was banged up. He only missed 2 games, or was it 1 game? Might have been 2 games. Duren looks like he's going to be back. Tobias Harris looks like he's going to be back. Isaiah Stewart, I believe, was in concussion protocol. Looks like he's going to be back. This is the healthiest the Pistons have been in a couple weeks. And on top of that, they've had 4 full days rest. The Pistons haven't played a basketball game since the 10th. They've had 4 full days rest here. So not only are they healthy, but they're completely rested. So in terms of scheduling spot, it's a very favorable spot for Detroit. Also, what I should have paid more attention to when betting the Suns last night in Miami, the Suns have been great. They have played a lot of their games at home in Phoenix. So maybe now that the Suns are going out on the road, their value will drop a little bit. Maybe still a little bit of a sell high with this Phoenix team. What I don't love for Detroit, now they've had 4 days off, so they'll be ready for this one. But I don't love that they have 2 much more important games after this. After this, they have a division rival game against the Pacers, and then they play the Celtics, obviously a game they want. So the 2 games after this are more important than this one. But like I said, the Pistons have had 4 days off, so I don't think you really pay much attention to that. I think this number's fair, honestly. What is it at 6.5? Yeah, I think this number's fair. I'll put up Detroit, but I wouldn't bet it at 6.5. I would need a -4 to bet Detroit. So I think 6.5 is about perfect with this one. What are the? Not 220. Man, they got a nice sharp low total too. Yeah, I'll put Pistons or pass, but I wouldn't bet it at 6.5. Oh, wow. Oklahoma City, Houston. This is such a tough one. All right. Oklahoma City, Houston. All right, Lou Dort listed as questionable. This is actually the first time these two teams are meeting since opening night. These two teams played on opening night. Remember, it went to overtime. Awesome game. So this is the first time these two teams are playing since then. Lou Dort listed as questionable. Still no Hartenstein. Oklahoma City's been winning games, but as far as covering spreads, not so much. Since the Hartenstein injury, they're 7-2 straight up, just 3-6 against the spread. So they haven't really been covering the numbers. The current situation with Houston, remember, Şengün was out for a few games there, and the offense looked terrible without Şengün. They were so reliant on Durant. So now that Şengün's back, I think maybe we're more inclined to trust Houston offensively. I would really like to have Eason out there, though. He's still injured. Obviously, Fred VanVleet. I think VanVleet's out for the year, or he's out for a long time. I don't know for the full season. He's out for a long time. Here's the thing I was looking at. So you look at the two games since the Eason injury. They've played two terrible defensive games. They're 0-2 against the spread with a defensive rating over 123. So since the Eason injury, they've played terrible defense. So part of me is like, oh, okay, we can't trust the Rockets defense without Eason. He's an important piece. But I looked at the full season splits on that. In the games they played with Eason, a 112.8 defensive rating. In the games they played without Eason, a 112.7 defensive rating. So even though they played some shitty defense the last couple of games without Eason, if you look at the full season, they have played good defensive games without him. So I don't think there's much to take away there. I think we could still trust Houston defensively, even without Tari Eason. So I'm still down to trust Houston's defense, especially at home. Problem is, what do we think of Oklahoma City's offense right now? What is this? The last three games over 120, looking like the NBA championship offense. 3 games before that, dreadful. They're so inconsistent. That there's some nights where this team just cannot score. I usually am always down to trust Oklahoma City defensively, but their offense is so streaky. There's games where this offense looks terrible. So is 3 games enough for us to just erase all the problems they've had? On the road at Houston is a tough out. It's not a tough place to go play. Another thing with Houston, look at their schedule. Look at how many road games this team has played. This is actually kind of crazy. So 11 of Houston's last 15 basketball games have been on the road. 11 of their last 15. So that kind of like the opposite of what the position the Suns were in last night. Maybe a little bit of a buy low. It's speaking in generalities here. Maybe a little bit of a buy low on the Houston Rockets as a whole, because they might be a little bit undervalued due to the fact that they've played pretty much exclusively on the road for, a month? 11 of their last 15 games have been on the road. So now they're back at home. Houston usually has a pretty cool home environment. Maybe a little bit of buy low on the Houston side. I don't know. The problem with Houston is the strength of schedule. Yes, they've been playing on the road, but against who? They've played one of the easiest schedules in the NBA, and we're talking about, they played all these games on the road. You ready for their opponents? Pacers, Nets, Mavericks, Suns. Suns is solid, but the Suns were on a back-to-back. Blazers, Kings. So, okay, they're playing road games, but they're playing road games against nobody. So, it's tough. I'll put Houston up, but this is another one that I will not be betting. What's it at now? It's at 4.5. Yeah. There were 3.5s before. People were jumping on. I know a few people in the Discord liked Oklahoma City at 3.5. All right, now we get to a game I did bet. Boston on the road in Miami. So just lost a bet fading the Heat the other night. So I'm still not down to trust Miami offensively because of one game. They played excellent offensively. Shots were falling, especially late in that fourth quarter. First half, they felt like they couldn't miss. So a great offensive game from the Heat. Let's not forget, in the 6 games before that, this offense looked absolutely terrible. Now, Tyler Hero's back. He came back, I want to say 4 games ago. So I think we all knew that the Miami offense would come around eventually. But the first 3 games with Tyler Hero back, it looked terrible. So I'm still not inclined to trust the Heat offense despite having a good game. Boston obviously always a solid defensive team. Big pace difference in this one. You look at the pace. This is one of the actually in terms of the full season, this is the fastest paced team in the NBA against the slowest paced team in the NBA. And we've actually seen Boston play a few games recently against fast paced opponents, and we've seen. Oh, actually, let me pull up I have a screenshot of it. So look at Boston's recent games. Indiana's been running a fast pace. San Antonio fast pace. Denver fast pace. Actually, Denver's been slowing it down, actually. And Chicago fast pace. We've seen low scoring games. So I think Boston is making it a point to slow these games down when they play fast paced opponents. They're in a little bit of a skid, though. They're 0-4 against the spread in their last 4. How much do we take away from that? What I'm looking at, though, and I think this is why I'm on Boston. I bet Boston -2 here. Is right here. Davion Mitchell. We haven't seen the Heat play many games without Davion Mitchell. He's their starting point guard. He started 38 games for the Heat at point guard this year, and we've only seen 2 games without him. The defense was terrible. Now, 2 games isn't enough of a sample size to really draw any sort of conclusions, but for those of you who don't know who Davion Mitchell is, his nickname is Off Night, meaning whoever he guards has an off night. He's an excellent on-ball defender, probably he's one of the most important defensive players on the Miami Heat. He's their starting point guard, their best perimeter defender. So he's out for this one. He's not playing. So a Boston team that launches a lot of threes, that lights you up from the perimeter, and you're missing your best perimeter defender, I don't like that at all. So, yeah, I'm on Boston -2. I did bet this one. Oh, the Bucks, man. All right, Bucks Spurs. So obviously, we know that the Bucks have had their problems. The other night was embarrassing. Start with the Spurs though, because shit's not sweet. Actually, let me get a poll up. Shit is not sweet with the San Antonio Spurs right now. I know that they beat Oklahoma City a few times, and they went to the NBA Cup Finals, and we all were kind of like, okay, the Spurs have themselves a team. And they might have themselves a team. They certainly are sitting close to the top of the Western Conference. But it's kind of flying under the radar that this team is not playing well right now. So there's still no Devin Vassell, and the absence of Devin Vassell is really starting to catch up with this team. Look at their last 6 games. 2-4 straight up. They're 2-4. In their last 6 games with an offensive rating below 105. That's terrible. This offense is not working. They've gone ice cold from 3. Ice cold. They cannot get an outside shot to fall. They could really use Devin Vassell back. And honestly, since that big Christmas Day win over Oklahoma City, this team's just 4-6. 4-6 straight up, 4-6 against the spread. I know I want to take Milwaukee here because the Spurs shouldn't be laying 7.5. If you look at these numbers right here. Offensive rating in the last 10 games, the Spurs are 29th. They're legitimately one of the worst offenses in the NBA right now. Now, they've played a tough schedule. They've played some tough defenses. We know they're not one of the worst offenses in the NBA. But on paper, in terms of raw efficiency, the Spurs are that bad offensively. Now, their defense has been elite, but the Spurs offense is not a unit I trust right now, at least not until they show me something or they get Devin Vassell back. So I do not trust the Spurs offense right now, and I think the Bucks can play a good defensive game. Here's the thing with the Bucks defense. I mean, they were playing solid defense in the 4 games before Minnesota. They're playing some solid defense. They were protecting the defensive glass. 111.4 defensive rating is solid. That's solid defense. You could win a lot of games playing that kind of defense. But then Tuesday night, they get lit up by the Timberwolves at home with no Anthony Edwards or Gobert. So I don't know. Is that an outlier? What's going on with this Bucks team? They were booing the team, and then Giannis was booing them back. I don't know if anyone saw that. They were booing the Bucks, and then Giannis got an and one, and he was booing the fans back. It certainly didn't look great. I'm just gonna put Bucks up. I don't have it in me to do it. I genuinely believe Milwaukee's the bet here. And the Spurs should not be laying 7.5. They can't score right now. They're ice cold shooting the ball. Devin Vassell is clearly a more important piece than we were giving him credit for originally. They're feeling his absence. I think you take the Bucks. I think 7.5 is too many. I don't think I have it in me to actually pull the trigger on that. Am I really going to take the Bucks again after what I just saw? Yeah. So I bet this one, but I don't think, it's not even worth talking about. So when Jalen Brunson left the game, a couple of us went and bet Golden State minus 3.5. It's 7.5 now. So what's the point even? I bet Golden State, but I got minus 3.5. So not even worth talking about. This is another one I didn't spend a ton of time on. Hawks Blazers. I'll put a poll up for a second. Yeah, Jacob, that's who it was. I knew somebody took Golden State minus 3.5 with me. It was sports scientist Jacob. I think a few people took Golden State at that time. There was 3.5, 4.5 hovering, and Jalen Brunson left the game. Now he ended up coming back in, but the chances of him, the Knicks aren't going to play him on a back-to-back on the West Coast. If he's, they'll rest him. If there's even a 5% chance he has some kind of injury, they'll rest him. I doubt Brunson plays in that game. And even if he does, man, I still think Golden State could cover minus 3.5, even if Brunson does play on a back-to-back. So, but yeah, it's not worth talking about. You can't get that now, so it's whatever. So Hawks Blazers. So I'm a fan of what the Hawks are doing. So it's clear that we're kind of in a new era of Hawks basketball here. They play a lot. They play some defense since Porzingis has been back, although he's hurt again. But they're playing some solid defense. A lot of passing. 31.8 assists per game. Jalen Johnson is kind of emerging as the new superstar. That's a foul. You're not going to call a foul? Is Michigan about to get backdoored because they're not going to call a foul on that? Hold on. There's 20 seconds left. He missed it. No, he got the rebound. Michigan's about to get backdoored. 15 seconds left. He shoots a three, and it's good. Unbelievable. They just backdoored Michigan on the... That is bullshit. Wow. Anyway, so I like what the Hawks are doing. They play defense now. The new backcourt, Dyson Daniels and Alexander Walker, good defensive backcourt, which is not... It's not what we've seen from the Hawks the last few years with Trae Young. So I like what they're doing. But there's no Porzingis. There's no Risache in this game. But then again, there's no Avdia for Portland either. Portland's all banged up. I'll put Hawks up, bounce back after the Lakers lost, but I'm good on this game. I can't believe Michigan just lost like that. The dude clearly got fouled, but it was the end of the game and they just didn't call it. Hornets. All right. All right, Charlotte Hornets. Let's see if there's any injury updates in this one. Nope, same on both sides. Okay, Hornets. So Kalkbrenner's back. He says, but it says back from injury on this graphic. He actually came back two games ago, but the issue with Charlotte has been the lack of a front court. Diabate has been a huge piece for them. He's listed as questionable. Now that Kalkbrenner's back, at least have some depth. They've had a guy named PJ Hall playing a lot of front court for Charlotte. That's the current injury situation. Kalkbrenner's back. Colin Sexton and Diabate questionable. On the Lakers side, they're much healthier than they have been the last few weeks. Hachimura just came back in the last game. I don't think he's in the starting lineup right now, though. I would imagine they're slowly working him back, but he is back. He's healthy. He's active. Gabe Vincent also came back a few games ago. So the Lakers have their share of problems, and getting Hachimura and Gabe Vincent back doesn't solve them, but those are important role players on the team. So maybe the Lakers can start to turn a corner here. The question is, what do we perceive this Lakers team to be right now? Because straight up, the Hornets have been better. Not even like a little bit better. In the last 10 games, strength of schedule, Hornets 22nd, Lakers 24th. So it's not like the the Hornets have played a considerably easier schedule. They've actually played a slightly tougher schedule than the Lakers in terms of strength of schedule. The Hornets second in offensive efficiency, the Lakers 18th. Defensive efficiency, the Hornets 11th, the Lakers 19th. The Hornets have been the better team. So what is this price based on? What the Lakers could be? I don't know how you don't take the Hornets. Maybe they're saying, hey, this is when that one game we saw against Atlanta, the Lakers are all the way back. But you zoom out and look at a bigger sample size. The Hornets have played better than the Lakers. They've been the better team on both sides of the ball. They played better defense. They played better offense. How's the Lakers' 3-point defense? I don't have a graphic in here. They've actually played good defense against the 3-point shot, which is clutch against the Hornets. So maybe that's why some people like the Lakers. It's a good defensive matchup. Lakers can't protect the rim at all. Yeah, I'll put Hornets up. I don't have a bet in the game, though. All right. Thanks, everyone, for watching. Have yourself a good night. Hopefully you had a better night than I did, man. I'm now that Michigan just got back to order, I'm 1-5 tonight. So, yeah, hopefully greener pastures tomorrow. Remember to bet responsibly. See y'all later.